Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're zeroing in on something really extraordinary. This interstellar object called 3IA TLS.
Yeah, it's a visitor from way outside our solar system, and honestly, it's tearing up the science rule book.
Exactly, and the big question hanging over it all, based on the data we actually have, is it just a really, really strange space rock? A weird comet?
Or is it maybe something else entirely? The source material even floats the idea of technology, maybe even a craft.
That's the core mystery. So our mission today, our deep dive, is to pull together all this frankly baffling data, the physics it defies, the path it took.
And we also need to look into this, let this wall of silence, right? This total information blackout from the big space agencies after it flew past Mars.
Yeah, that part's fascinating too. And just to set the scene, we're in a bit of a cliffhanger moment right now. 3I TLS, it's currently inside Mars's orbit.
And it's speeding up, heading for its closest point to the sun. That's the perihelion.
Right, perihelion. And the tricky part is because of where it is relative to the sun.
We can't see it. Basically, yeah, the sun's glare is completely blinding us from Earth right now.
The peak of that blindness, superior conjunction, that's coming up fast, October 21st, so the sun's directly in the way.
And then just a few days later, October 29th, it hits that perihelion point. And it'll be moving incredibly fast then, something like 68 kilometers per second.
Whoa, that's really booking it.
Absolutely. And because we're on the wrong side of the sun, we probably won't get another good look until, late November? Maybe early December?
So whatever happens when it swings around the sun, if it breaks up, flares up, whatever, we won't know for weeks.
Pretty much. We're flying blind through its most critical phase.
Okay, so let's dig into why this thing is causing such a stir. The data. It's just wild. Start with the basics, like size and how it looked.
Well, first off, it might be the biggest interstellar object we've ever spotted. Estimates range from 5 kilometers across up to maybe even 50.
50 kilometers! That's enormous!
Huge. And yeah, the appearance, it started out looking reddish, which is kind of typical for these deep space objects. But then it started glowing green.
Red to green. Okay, already weird.
But where it really goes off the rails, scientifically speaking, is its chemistry. What it's made of, or at least what its coma, the gas cloud around it, is made of.
Right. The coma. You said it was mostly carbon dioxide.
Yeah, mostly CO2. And the ratio of CO2 to water vapor is way off. It's about 8 to 1. Normally, water ice is what drives comets. It turns to gas and makes the tail in coma.
So 8 to 1 CO2 to water, where would that come from?
That kind of chemistry usually happens in the absolute coldest, outermost parts of young star systems, way out in the boonies. Not typical comet territory at all.
Couldn't it just be an unusually dry comet? Maybe it just doesn't have much water?
You might think that, but all the other data points away from a simple explanation, like the spectroscopy, how it interacts with light.
Ah, yes. It showed nickel, but without the iron you'd normally expect.
Exactly. Nickel emissions, but no significant iron signature alongside it.
Yeah. Well, it's a metallurgical imbalance, as the source puts it.
Why is nickel without iron such a head-scratcher?
Because iron is sort of the endpoint for element creation in massive stars. They're usually forged together. Finding nickel on its own like this, it suggests either some really bizarre formation conditions we don't understand, or maybe the material's been processed somehow, filtered, maybe. Nature doesn't usually do that.
Okay, so weird chemistry, weird metals.
Yeah.
But the thing that really gets me is how it moves, or rather, how it doesn't move unexpectedly.
You mean the lack of wobble?
Yeah. Comets spray out gas, right, that acts like little jets, pushing them around, making their paths slightly unpredictable. But not this one.
Nope. It's moving with almost mathematical perfection, just following gravity. Even though it clearly has a gas envelope, a coma, there's absolutely zero sign of that typical outgassing thrust affecting its trajectory.
Which just shouldn't happen with an active comet. It shouldn't. It behaves like a solid, inert object under gravity, but it looks like an active comet. It's a contradiction.
And then there's the way it scatters light, the polarization thing.
Oh yeah, that's possibly the strangest physical data point. How light bounces off it.
Yeah.
It has the most extreme negative polarization curve of any object ever observed. It means the texture or the composition of the dust grains in its coma or on its surface is unlike anything we've ever seen or can model based on known comets. The physics of how light reflects off it just doesn't fit.
Okay, let's count. We've got huge size, weird color change, bizarre chemistry, strange metals, no wobble, and impossible light scattering. That's 6. Did I miss any?
Well, the 7th big anomaly is the path itself, the trajectory.
Right, you said it was statistically improbable. How so?
Think of the solar system like a flat disk, the ecliptic plane where the planets orbit. Most interstellar visitors just punch through at random angles.
But this one didn't.
No, it came in almost flat, slicing along the edge of that disk, only about 5 degrees off the planetary plane. Very unusual.
And then it buzzed past several planets in sequence.
Yeah, it made remarkably close passes near Venus, then Mars, and it's heading for a close-ish pass near Jupiter later on.
And the odds of that specific sequence happening by chance?
Extremely low.
Yeah.
When they ran the numbers on the combined probability, that shallow angle plus hitting those specific planetary flyby windows, it came out at less than 1%.
Less than 1% likelihood for the whole path.
Okay, so you have these 7 independent anomalies. The size, the color, the chemistry, the metals, the perfect gravity-driven path, the weird light scattering, and the statistically baffling trajectory.
When you stack all that up.
Yeah, the idea that this is just a normal, albeit slightly weird natural comet, that explanation starts to look really, really thin. The data just doesn't want to fit. Bayesian analyses comparing natural versus other possibilities apparently give results that heavily favor, well, not natural.
Which brings us neatly to the silence. The blackout after the Mars flyby. We had eyes pointed right at it, didn't we?
Absolutely. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the European Mars Express, and crucially, China's Tianwen-1 orbiter.
And Tianwen-1 was in the perfect spot to see it.
Optimal viewing geometry, yeah.
Yeah.
And normally, you'd expect agencies, especially maybe China in this case, to rush out something if they saw anything interesting. A bit of scientific bragging rights, you know.
Yeah, but instead, nothing. Crickets.
Total silence. From Washington, from Paris, from Beijing. It's this really noticeable, coordinated information vacuum.
So why? Why the coordinated silence? Why not just say, hey, we got some data, it's weird, we're looking at it?
Well, the thinking is this silence serves a few key purposes, institutionally. First, it buys time. Crucial time for deep, rigorous verification.
Like cross-checking between agencies.
Exactly. Verifying the data across different instruments, different teams, maybe even different countries, using secure channels. Following strict protocols, maybe even ones developed for potential SETI signals decades ago, that demand independent confirmation before anything goes public.
So it's about caution, extreme caution.
It's prudent risk management on a potentially species-altering scale. The fear isn't just about being wrong, it's the potential chaos of publicly mislabeling something this anomalous. Getting it wrong could be catastrophic for public trust and stability.
And that leads to controlling the story, the narrative.
Precisely. The silence forces everyone onto the same page. It creates this, temporary truce between competing space programs.
An unprecedented alignment, as the source material called it.
Yeah. The idea is if and when something is announced, it has to be a single, unified, coherent story agreed upon by everyone involved. It either comes out simultaneously from all parties or it doesn't come out at all.
All aimed at making the eventual news, whatever it is, survivable for society and institutions.
That seems to be the goal, yes. Managing the potential shock.
Okay. Shifting gears slightly, the sources also mention the timing of all this, especially the perihelion, lining up with significant astronomical patterns, more than just science.
All right, there's a suggestion that this isn't just about physics and chemistry, but maybe about broader energetic dynamics in the solar system.
How so?
Well, 3i TLAC is plunging deep into the sun's powerful electromagnetic environment, especially near perihelion. Objects don't just interact gravitationally, they interact electrically too. And the timing, the exact date of perihelion, October 29th.
It coincides with a specific and apparently potent astrological alignment.
According to the analysis, using the true sky positions, yes. At perihelion, 3i TLAC is in the constellation Virgo, often linked to themes of health, healing, daily routine systems.
Okay. And what else is happening then?
There's a challenging geometric pattern active, a grand cross. 3i TLAC is directly opposite Chiron, often called the wounded healer or teacher archetype, and also Eris, the goddess of discord and strife.
So tension between this unknown visitor in Virgo and themes of healing versus chaos.
Potentially, yeah. Suggesting maybe a crisis point or a struggle related to health systems or maybe some kind of spiritual shakeup. And the other axis of this cross involves Jupiter expansion opposing Pluto and the Moon, which points to powerful deep transformation, maybe death and rebirth themes affecting the public consciousness.
Wow. So the description, very, very powerful alignment, a once-in-a-lifetime transit because of 3i TLAC. It's tying the object's scientific mystery into this larger symbolic or energetic framework.
Exactly. It suggests the moment of peak scientific weirdness is also a moment packed with symbolic meaning, activating these deep archetypal tensions.
Fascinating. Okay, back to the practical. We're blind now. Is there any way, technically, to maybe get a peek at it during this blackout period, like specialized telescopes, coronagraphs, maybe?
Probably not. Coronagraphs work by blocking the sun's direct light so you can see fainter things very close to it.
Like plants.
Yeah, like Venus when it's near the sun, which is super bright, magnitude denies to 3.89 roughly. Even Uranus or Neptune are faint, magnitude 5.6 or 7.8.
And where was 3i Teoke brightness-wise when we last saw it?
Its apparent magnitude was around 12. That's significantly dimmer, many, many times fainter than even Neptune.
So for a coronagraph to see it.
It would need to brighten up dramatically, like multiple magnitudes, maybe getting 100 times brighter or more just to even register it. Given its size is probably under 50 kilometers, that seems, well, highly unlikely.
So the verdict is, we're stuck waiting.
Almost certainly, yeah. We're likely completely blind until late November, early December. We just have to wait and see if it pops back into view where the calculations say it should be.
Okay, so let's try to wrap our heads around this. We have this object, 3ITIS. It seems to break multiple laws of physics as we know them for comets, demanding we rethink our models.
Totally. And it arrived on this incredibly improbable path, raising statistical red flags all over the place.
The data that might explain some of this, gathered during the Mars flyby, is currently under wraps in this coordinated global lockdown.
A lockdown forced by the sheer weirdness of the initial data, pushing the scientific community towards considering possibilities far beyond a simple comet because the conventional explanations just don't seem to hold water.
And maybe the biggest takeaway, the most profound thing right now, is that silence itself, that coordinated pause.
Yeah, think about it. This single object has forced major world powers, the US, Europe, China people, who are often rivals, into this unprecedented level of quiet cooperation.
Not driven by treaties or politics, but purely by shared scientific bewilderment and caution. The sheer gravity of the unknown forcing a kind of temporary unspoken truce.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does it actually take? What level of strangeness, what kind of scientific anomaly is required to get humanity coordinating on this scale?
That's definitely something to chew on. And the next key date to watch.
December 19th, or around then. That's when 3IATS makes its closest approach to Earth's orbital path, near the winter solstice. That'll be our next big chance for observation, assuming it's still around and behaving. Well, who knows how it'll behave.
Until then, we wait and watch the silence.